It's now time to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers, and I have joining me here in studio lawyer and social development advocate Jide Ologun. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you.
And also a lawyer as well, public affairs analyst Tunji Abdulhamid. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
All right, so let's see what the newspapers are reporting this morning. First is the Nigerian Tribune, and the screaming headline reads, the kicker reads, 10 days to presidential primaries, Southern PDP leaders weigh fresh option. 10 days to presidential primaries, Southern PDP leaders weigh fresh options. The Nation newspaper, presidential governorship primaries, APC begins process. Delegate election tomorrow. Governorship candidates shadow poll on Friday. Presidential governorship primaries, APC begins process. Delegate election tomorrow. Governorship candidates shadow poll on Friday. That's the Nation newspaper. The Punch newspaper is next. Deborah's murder. Can Plateau Benue churches adamant insist on Sunday protest. Ignore governor's warnings against demonstration. Seek justice for Deborah. No street protest, say Plateau Borno government. El-Rufai warns troublemakers. NBA Islam Stambul wants murder charge for suspect. Police advise Can. That's the Punch newspaper. Can Plateau Benue churches adamant insist on Sunday protest. Presidential primaries. The Guardian newspaper is next. Presidential primaries intrigues as PDP loses Eagle Square to APC. Mark leads convention panel to inspect MKO Abiola Stadium. Autumn, Jonathan meets Wu's ex-president to attend PDP convention. PDP shifts governorship, National Assembly primaries to avert defection of aggrieved aspirants. Akinwumi opts out from APC presidential race. Ruling party tasks screening committee on justice to all aspirants. That's the Guardian newspaper. The next is Daily Sun. I won 2019 election but robbed. That's according to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Says a repeat of that will not be tolerated in 2023. That's the politics of things. Daily Sun reporting there. Vanguard newspaper is next. How to make national development plans work. ECPO, Atedo Peterside, others at Vanguard Economic Discourse. That's Vanguard newspaper. Blueprint is next. Autumn lobbies Jonathan amid tension over 4,000 delegates list. Governor Autumn lobbies former President Jonathan amid tension over 4,000 delegates list. Daily Trust is next. 29 die in Kaduna auto crash, Kano explosion. 2 escape from Kaduna tragedy as bus rams into truck. And Kano residents, government, security agencies disagree on cause. There's a Daily Trust newspaper. First News. Over 100 security operatives present when Sokoto mob killed Deborah. That's according to her father. Over 100 security operatives present when Sokoto mob killed Deborah. This Nigeria is next. Outrage. Over 80 billion naira accountant general fraud allegation as EFCC grieves ex-reps speaker Etteh. Over 130 million naira contract scam. Kano explosion. Scores dead. Federal government, Kano disagree over casualty figures. Conflict over cause of incident as school owner insists on terrorists attack. That's this Nigeria. Daily Times is next. Lai Mohammed to Facebook others. Stop IPOB from using your platforms to incite violence. Says actions of the proscribed group have real life implications. The federal government will be monitoring Facebook, other platforms closely. That's Daily Times reporting here. News Direct. Jet A1 fuel crisis. Federal government to sustain investment in aviation sector. Federal government to sustain investment in aviation sector following Jet A1 fuel crisis. That's News Direct there. Business Day. Nigeria stocks emerge Africa's best performers. Nigeria stocks emerge Africa's best performers as 24% return beats market expectations. That's business day there. Now, Daily Independent. Private insurers account at risk. Private insurers account at risk as NPF mulls insurance outfit. Stakeholders say it's unnecessary. It won't be run as a business. May not obey NICOM regulations. One insurance is complex. And then convention, PDP in confusion over venue, adjust dates of primaries. That's Daily Independent. Well, let's start with this Nigeria, because it is this Nigeria, and so many issues to look at today. But we'd like to start with this Nigeria. Outrage over 80 billion naira accountant general fraud allegations as EFCC grills ex-reps. Speaker Etteh over 130 million naira contract scam. Barrister, I will start with you, lawyer, social development advocate, Jide Ologun. What do you make of this this corruption allegation? It's just every time we talk about corruption, it seems like it's not just going to go away.
Firstly, let's start by saying under the Constitution we have the presumption of innocence. So right now it's at the level of allegation. And I will justify that with the case of Magu. Magu was alleged of corruption, insubordination, and abuse of office by Malami then that led to his removal as acting chairman of EFCC. But he has just recently been promoted to the rank of AIG. So, and if we ran to conclusion then, because in the criminal justice value chain, there must be thorough investigation, diligent prosecution, and a committed judiciary. And here we are now with the Accountant General of the Federation, and it's really disturbing when you look at the amount of money involved and you look at the trust that has been handed over to him. And also, if you wind your mind back to the fact that he was the accounts and finance director of Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development before he came to this exalted office, then you must be worried. And like you said, corruption is destructive. And I know that in Section 15, subsection 5 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, the law says that the state shall abolish corrupt practices and abuse of office. So when we have all these, the money that should be spent in developing the country being cornered by some at allegation levels now, then you must be worried. And you look at the alternative foregone here, and the impact is that we have the kind of health sector we have, the kind of education, as we is on strike right now, the kind of poverty we have in the land, because the resources of the nation are expected to be mobilized to develop the nation, create commonwealth for the common good. So we expect and hope that this will be thoroughly investigated and let there be prosecution, because in the criminal law purview, you must not only prevent crime, you should also punish crime. And if there are no consequences, more will rise up to engage the space of corruption. So we hope that the state will actually rise up to fight corruption. This is just one of the numerous cases. We are still recovering the Abacha loot, even though he has traveled far in the kingdom of the dead. So we need to rise up.
He knows Nigeria. He knew Nigeria rather would be broke. That's why those money were there, and then he's now sending them back to us.
Exactly.
You said exactly. Investment. So then, still on this Nigeria, EFCC grills ex-reps Speaker Etteh over 130 million naira contract scam, and then Renault Mercury has actually asked ASU to continue the strike, because what they are even asking for is not exactly up to this.
You see, the problem we have in this country, one of the major problems we have is corruption. And the attitude of those in charge to ensure that, look, these things are nicking in the bud is one of the major pain. There are a lot of allegations regarding people cornering money belonging to all of us, that our commonwealth indeed. There are a lot of, if you look at paper every day, there will be allegation of somebody taking so amount of money, so happen. Have we seen any results? Has anybody been sentenced to or convicted for this That's to me the major issue. It's not the corruption itself. People everywhere, anywhere in the world, who want to be what's it called, funny. Yeah. But the system will not allow them. We don't have the system in place that will check people from doing the wrong thing. You see, our system encourages corruption as far as I'm concerned, because when you allege people who are high and mighty, they will not hear anything thereafter. The case in mind is a former governor of Akwa Ibom State, the honorable minister. Okay, retired. Is he retired or is he? I think he resigned. I mean, the recent the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Apabio. Oh, okay. I think he's now a presidential aspirant. You remember his case? He was drilled at the National Assembly regarding the issue of NCCDC money. What is your thoughts today? Are you hearing anything about it again? Was there, even when as clear as it is, we're doing everybody's shut up, and that's all. So that's all we hear. You only hear this on paper, and that will be the end of it, and nothing will happen again. So we are in a country whereby what we do is just to make sorry, don't let me use a negative adjective in that regard. You hear people just make statements, just make stories, and just raise issues that without any follow-up. Nobody will do anything. The government will not do what is needful. What is required is that, look, when you punish people for committing crime, when you do a thorough investigation of issue, and people are being punished for it, the people will be deterred from going further to do that. Some other people. But today, people are being encouraged because they will just tell you what will happen. Maybe it's just for me to just say, if you are alleged of stealing 1 billion naira, what they will say is that there's a bargain, plead bargain. You return 50 million or 100 million, and that will be the end of it, and that will be all. Some will not even return anything. Some will not even be enjoying themselves. There won't be proper prosecution. There won't be proper investigation. Nothing will happen. You will go scot-free, and that will be the end of the case. So until we cultivate the habit of ensuring that people are punished for crime committed, we can't get results.
Let's look at the disaster that happened yesterday in Kano. We're very much human angle interest story. Kano explosion, still on Days Nigeria, scores dead, federal government, Kano disagree over casualty figures, and where this story is now, conflict over cause of incident as school owner insists on terrorist attack. You know, whenever anything happens just like that, people will come with different opinions saying exactly this is what happened because we are eyewitnesses, but then another opinion will come, maybe from the government, saying no, this is what our preliminary investigation reveals.
It's so sad that we are gambling with human lives. You see, we are talking about souls that God has created, and we are trying to justify this. But I think the problem now is that the northern part of the country basically is associated with terrorism. So you expect that different forms of denial will come. But whatever the case may be, there is a need to protect lives and properties through effective regulations and policies. And even from the counter arguments that we are having, should a school be sited near we have volatile circumstances and things like that, and here we are now. But by and large, no banditry group has come out to own this. But there had been several explosions across the country. Remember the one around Festac, and an excuse was prompted that it was a gas tanker that ran into something. So, but what we know is that right now, a lot of deaths are taking place in the country. People are insecure. Look at what is going on in Sokoto State. And we are just asking that, can we go back to Section 14, subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution Act 9 as amended, that says that the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government, and let that be the driving force of the governance process in the country right now, because people are agitated. But when there was a time we were comparing the number of people killed by Boko Haram in one state with another state. Is that the way to go?
Human lives.
Is that the way to go? Human lives are important. But right now, there is something we cannot argue about, which is the deplorable state of I don't know whether to say security or insecurity in Nigeria. It's really alarming. And that is why we just must appeal to the government that the mandate you have been given to secure lives and properties include yours also, because someday you will leave office. It's only God that will not leave office. So let's do the right thing. And we express our condolences to the families of those who have been affected in Kano, and we pray that we all rise up to make sure we have a secure environment.
Right. Because of our time, we need to race against time, really. Daily Times, I'll come to you, Tunji Abdulhamid. Lai Mohammed to Facebook on Daily Times says, Lai Mohammed to Facebook, others, stop IPOB from using your platforms to incite violence. Says actions of the proscribed group have real-life implications, and federal government will be monitoring Facebook, other platforms closely. We all witnessed what happened during the Twitter ban and all of the criticisms around that actually ensued afterwards. And then we learned that lately, unknown gunmen from Anambra State saying that they are going to attack 9 different local government areas. So how do you relate with all of these issues?
You see, like Baisa Logun just said, we have a situation in our country whereby we are not sure of our safety. Security is not even, it's not there as far as I'm concerned. And then those who are committing the crime, now they have the audacity, they have the courage, they have the confidence to say whatever, to even move freely and attack people and do whatever they want to do. You see, the comment by Alhaji Lai Mohammed to me, as far as I'm concerned, is not the way to go. That you can't get cake people from making comments. If you believe somebody has made a comment that is not proper, go after that person and then prosecute or take necessary steps and do them. Because banning Facebook or whatever will not give any result. What has Twitter given to us? Bad. You see, he has spoiled the Twitter ban, renders some youth back to square one. They were taken back to square one.
No, I don't think they want to ban Facebook.
No, I'm just saying, taking that, looking at that.
That Facebook should actually prevent IPOB from using their platforms to incite violence.
I agree with you on that, and I said, look, as the owner of the owner of the Facebook, it's your responsibility to also monitor and ensure that things that will cause a crisis are not there. But what I'm saying that in the event, like what we saw the last time when we were told that Twitter did not brought down the president's whatever, and then it becomes an issue. You see what I'm saying? They should not think of that the consequences, in their own opinion, if they believe that Facebook has not done the right thing, is to shut down Facebook as well.
That was what happened to Twitter.
Suspend, shut down is the whole adjective. What the point is that you will not use it. So if it's shut down, what is it? If it's suspended, it's not shut down.
Right.
It's shut down. It may be temporary, it may be permanent. I'm not saying that. So they should not think of shutting down Facebook or social media now, because I've not seen the result of the Twitter that was shut down by the government. So they should just ensure that, look, the right things are done. In other words, if you notice that somebody is making statements that can cause crisis or divisions in the country, go after them. It's not only on Facebook that people make comment that can cause crisis. We've had comment from so-called leaders and in the country, the group, I don't want to mention the name of any group. There are so many of them. The Afeniferis, the AGF, the whatever. Some of them have been making comments that can destroy the country, and nobody has been taken, and nobody has been picked. So if you allow this to happen on even without the Facebook or whatever, what are you complaining about the Facebook when you cannot even deal with your own? I read a story whereby the president promised to help which country is that to fight their insurgency or whatever, and I was laughing. I said, look, what are we having in this country? It's not insurgency. Have you been able to sort out your own in here, and you are going outside? So the point is that, look, we should do the right thing. Ensure that we provide enough security and enough safety. And those who are killing the IPOB, I want to appeal to them. Threatening your people will not solve this problem. You can't be killing your people and say you are fighting for your people. The same people you are fighting for are the same people
IPOB has denied this allegation that they say that they are actually suing for peace. And we know that, let me take it to Mr. DJ Logo. We know that the governor of Anambra State, Soludo, has met with Nnamdi Kano, and they had a conversation and all that, and you could see them in very good spirit. So this issue of IPOB using the platform of Facebook and other platforms to incite violence, we're now torn between free speech and not to crossing the red line, so to speak.
Facebook is a channel of expression, and Facebook has the responsibility to monitor what is channeled through that platform, and it's now left to those who interpret whether a speech is hate speech or not. I know at the time in this country, a group came out to say they were going to fight some governors on some laws that were being made. You know, we've seen a group of governors rising up to say, no, we are going to oppose. So what constitutes hate speech? And in the case of IPOB, IPOB is agitating for something that is crucial. And I gave a caution to the Easterners that watch your environment, because most of the time we read about unknown gunmen. How many of them are from the Eastern extraction? So can it be that that region has been infiltrated, just like we have immigrants from the Sahel region infiltrating Nigeria? I mean, the recent attack on the train between Abuja and Kaduna reportedly was carried out by foreign language speakers and things like that. So you cannot really say who are those perpetrating the evil in the East. So it may be part of a grand strategy. And that's why we are asking that beyond politicking, can we rise up and engage these agitations? I recall that when President Muhammad Buhari, my president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, whom I respect so much, came to office, we started analyzing this issue of IPOB, having a radio station, and whether it should be violent or not. So can we look at Nigeria as a project and go back to what we have in Section 14 of the Constitution that says the motto of Nigeria is unity, faith, peace, and progress, and see how we can achieve it? Several times the president has given instructions to the service chiefs. I don't want you have to wipe out the terrorists, and see. Right now, what we are reading about is that we are negotiating with the kidnappers of the train attack, a whole nation. You see, so let's get serious. So I don't think Facebook is our problem. If Facebook says don't speak through us, they will speak through other devices. Some will even come out to express openly. But is Nigeria where it should be? Is there unity? Is there prosperity? Is there justice? Is there equity? And I think these are issues that should be bothering the ministers and those who are supporting the president. And for the president, please, I want to advise this morning, can the Attorney General of the Federation sit down with my president, and I'm making that special request, if he can grant it, for about 3 hours, and please read Section 14 to Section 18 of the Nigerian Constitution, explain to the president, you know, in any way, that this is the kernel of good governance. If we can implement that portion of the Constitution up to 70%, Nigeria should be the third richest country in the world. If not, we just be dancing around. You pursue Afenifere, pursue IPOB, pursue ESN, pursue Arewa. You know, people are shouting all around the country, asking for peace and prosperity.
All right. Very briefly, we've got less than a minute to go. Your final thought on all of these?
Yeah, like I think those in charge of the government should sit up and then do their responsibility in line with Section 14, Subsection 2, which require that the basic responsibility or primary responsibility of the government is security and welfare of the people. Without security, without the welfare of the people, there cannot be peace in the country. We need peace, and the government should do their job and ensure that their responsibilities are taken care of.
Thank you very kindly. Really appreciate a lawyer, public affairs analyst, Tunji Abdulhamid. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And also lawyer and social development advocate, Jide Logun. Really appreciate.
God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much.